What if you were promised something wonderful, but had to wait and wait and wait for a very long time? Imagine an ancient land filled with starry nights and endless desert. Here lived a kind and faithful man named Abraham and his dear wife, Sarah. They had a big dream: to have a family, a son, to continue their lineage. God himself had made a wonderful promise to Abraham that his descendants would be as numerous as the stars. But years turned into decades, and Abraham and Sarah grew very, very old. Sarah, especially, had given up hope of ever having a baby. It felt impossible, a promise perhaps forgotten, a dream fading with each passing year. Everyone wondered, had God truly forgotten his promise? Could something so miraculous just really happen? Could a promise made so long ago to a couple past their prime truly come to life? This is the heartwarming story of the birth of Isaac, where an impossible hope became a joyous reality, proving that with God, all things are possible, no matter how long you wait. Have you ever wondered how far you would go to prove your deepest belief? Imagine being asked to give up the one thing you cherished most in the entire world. Long, long ago, in a land filled with ancient whispers and vast skies, lived a man named Abraham. He was a good man, known for his incredible faith and his special connection with God. Abraham had waited many years for his most precious gift, his son, Isaac. Isaac wasn't just any child. He was the son of promise, a miracle, the future of Abraham's family and legacy. But then, a truly astonishing and heart-wrenching command came. From the heavens, God spoke, telling Abraham to take his beloved Isaac to a mountain called Moriah and offer him as a sacrifice. Can you even begin to picture the torment in Abraham's heart? His dear son, the child of his old age, now asked to be given back to God in such a way. With a heavy heart, yet unwavering faith, Abraham began the difficult journey. Every step was a battle between a father's love and his devotion. The ultimate test was here. Could Abraham truly raise his hand against his own son to fulfill this unimaginable request? Have you ever thought about how we show our love and respect, even after someone we cherish is gone? Imagine a time long, long ago when families traveled across wide, open lands, building their lives and hopes along the way. At the heart of one such family was Abraham, a kind and steady leader. For many years, by his side was his beloved wife, Sarah, a woman of wonderful grace and strength, his true partner through every adventure. But even the strongest bonds can meet with sadness. One day, a deep sorrow touched Abraham when Sarah, at the remarkable age of 127, passed away in the town of Kiriath Arba, which we now know as Hebron. Abraham's heart was truly broken, and he mourned deeply for the loss of his dear wife. Amidst his grief, Abraham faced a very important challenge: to find a special, final resting place for Sarah, a peaceful home for her memory, in a land that was not yet his own. This led him to speak with the local community and to a man named Ephron the Hittite. How would Abraham honor Sarah's life and make sure her eternal rest was secured, even in a foreign land? Have you ever thought about how destiny guides us to the one we're meant to be with? Imagine a time when finding true love wasn't about swiping right, but about a journey of faith and a special mission. Long, long ago, in a land filled with ancient stories, lived a respected leader named Abraham. He had a beloved son, Isaac, who was kind and gentle. As Isaac grew, Abraham wished for him to find a loving partner. But he didn't want just anyone. He wanted someone from his own distant homeland, someone special. So Abraham called upon his most trusted servant, Eliezer, giving him a truly important task. Eliezer was to embark on a long, arduous journey, traveling far to find a perfect wife for Isaac. This wasn't just a trip, it was a mission of the heart. After many days, Eliezer arrived at a well, feeling the weight of his quest. He prayed for a sign, and that's when he met Rebekah. She was graceful, generous, and incredibly kind, offering water not just to him, but to all his tired camels. It was the clear sign he had hoped for. Now, the biggest question remained. Would Rebekah, a kind stranger, agree to leave everything she knew behind, trust in a remarkable promise, and journey to marry a man she had never seen, becoming Isaac's wife? Have you ever wondered if your path was set before you even took your first breath? Long ago, in a land filled with ancient whispers, lived a loving couple named Isaac and Rebekah. They shared a deep affection. But one thing was missing from their lives: the joyful sound of children. Rebekah longed for a family, her heart aching for the pitter-patter of tiny feet. She prayed with all her might, pouring out her heart to the heavens, and wondrously, her prayers were answered. Rebekah became pregnant, but her journey was far from easy. Her pregnancy was incredibly difficult, a constant struggle that left her wondering what was truly happening within her. It was then that a divine message came, revealing an extraordinary secret. 2 nations are in your womb, it declared, and the older will serve the younger. This was a prophecy that would flip tradition on its head. Finally, the day arrived, and Rebekah gave birth to twin sons. First came Esau, strong and covered in red hair, then Jacob, grasping his brother's heel. How will these 2 very different brothers navigate a destiny where one is fated to serve the other? And what adventures await them as they grow? Have you ever given up something truly important for a quick, fleeting comfort? Imagine a time long ago, in a world where family lines and ancient traditions were everything. Here lived a family with 2 very different brothers: Esau, the elder, a strong, hairy hunter who loved the outdoors, and Jacob, his younger brother, who preferred the quiet life tending their home. The birthright, a special honor, and a future inheritance, was meant for the eldest son. One day, Esau returned from a long hunt, absolutely starving. He was so incredibly hungry, he felt like he was at death's door. Jacob was cooking a delicious pot of lentil stew, and Esau, without thinking, begged for some. Jacob saw his chance. He offered the stew, but only if Esau would sell him his birthright, his precious future inheritance. In his extreme hunger, and not truly valuing his future, Esau casually agreed, selling away his special place for a simple meal. He then ate and went on his way, caring little about what he had just done. But what happens when such a profound promise is so easily traded for a single bowl of stew? And what long-lasting changes will this meal bring to their lives? What if everything you believed about your future could be changed in a single, whispered moment? Imagine a time long, long ago, in a land filled with ancient traditions and powerful family bonds. Here lived Isaac, an old man whose eyes could no longer see, but whose words carried immense weight. He had 2 sons, Esau, the rugged, hairy hunter, and Jacob, his quieter, gentler brother. Isaac loved Esau and planned to give him a very special blessing, a powerful declaration that shaped a son's entire future. But Jacob's mother, Rebekah, had other ideas. She believed Jacob was destined for that blessing. So, with a clever plan, she helped Jacob disguise himself. She cooked a delicious meal, dressed Jacob in Esau's distinct clothes, and even placed goat hair on his smooth arms to mimic Esau's ruggedness. With his heart pounding, Jacob approached his blind father. Isaac, confused by the voice, reached out, feeling the hairy skin and smelling Esau's familiar scent. The stage was set. Could a mother's love and a son's bold deception truly trick a blind father and rewrite destiny? What would happen when Esau returned and the truth was uncovered? If this touched your heart, please follow, comment, and share. Together, we can spread God's word. Thanks.